Good evening, everybody. Welcome our public meeting. I'm gonna sing a couple of songs to prepare ourselves, our mind, our soul for these special moments. Good old man. Blue crystal eyes, colors of the sky. Gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Blue crystal eyes, colors of the sky. Gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the Gold, receive our prayers and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the Light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. Song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold night, support and comfort, support and comfort. Cascades flow down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their heart, with love in their heart. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in hard work. The solution lies in hard work. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make your small son a good Christian. Make your small son a good Christian.
Seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining my God. I will follow your path, Father, 'cause nobody is alone in life, and the scars of my destiny will be healed by your love. Disseminate wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. As our Master Jesus taught.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start, when the sun turns off the moonlight. We get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise, and on the other side of the mountain there's always a whole new road, a new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain there's always a whole new road, and a new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus, and when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring now your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our public meeting. Here I am again. So, we are very happy to be with you tonight, and we'd like to say thank you, everyone, to join us this meeting. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. For instance, our meeting, first of all, we ask everybody, if it's possible, turn off your phone notifications. So find a quiet place during this time if it's possible. Our meeting is 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A and the format Q&A. So then after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We also would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference America through their Facebook, and will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. So you can follow us in our Spiritism Canada Facebook and YouTube. And we'd like to invite you to participate with us. The Get to Know Spiritism is a free course to everybody that's interested to get to know more about Spiritism. Well, they are very welcome to our meetings. That's going to start a new groups in the fall, and soon we're gonna post the date we're gonna start. So for tonight, to start our presentation, we'd like to ask our brother Rodrigo Villar from Winnipeg, and he's gonna do the opening prayer. And after that, he's gonna be with us. He's gonna be our speaker tonight. And this very interesting subject he was going to talk. And after the prayer, I'm going to talk to him a little bit before he starts. Welcome, Rodrigo. How are you?
Hello, Publio. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I miss you. How's everything there, Winnipeg?
Good. All
Perfect.
looks awesome.
Perfect. Welcome, Rodrigo, to our public meeting. So you're gonna make the initial prayer, the opening prayer, and after that, you're gonna have the for yourself the moments of 30 minutes to comment about the gospel according to Spiritism. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to do the opening prayer. And I invite everyone to close your eyes if you wish, elevating our thoughts to our Master, to our spiritual friends, to the Father, thanking the opportunity to be here one more night to reflect about Jesus' teachings, to reflect about all these great messages and examples of moral that touch our hearts and make us to have new perspectives, new understanding that shape our behavior, shape our moral conduct, making us better people. The spiritual mentors responsible for the work tonight, please bless us all, intuing us and inspire us to deliver the message the best way of our abilities. Protect us and stay with us. Thank you very much for this great opportunity of learning, and help us to be with you today and always, because we know deep inside that you never abandoned us. Thank you very much, and we ask permission to start the study of tonight. So be it.
Thank you, Rodrigo. So feel free to start. And the topic today, who is my mother and who are my brothers? That's the question that Jesus Christ made, and it's in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 14, honor your father and mother, items 5 and 7. Welcome, Rodrigo, to talk to us, to explain to us who is my mother, who is my brothers. Thank you. And every comment is welcome. You have a chance to make any question during the presentation. So we're going to submit them to our brother Rodrigo. Come here, Rodrigo.
Hello, Publio, I'm back.
Thank you.
So thank you for the introduction, Publio. It's a pleasure to be here again tonight. I'm just gonna start sharing my screen with you. Just a second, please. There we go. So as Publio said, the topic tonight is about who is my mother and who are my brothers. Chapter 14, honor your father and mother, items 5 and 7. This topic doesn't have a lot of items, it's just the items 5, 6, and 7, but is quite deep and it's challenging. And this, I hope I can really deliver the best of my abilities to make us reflect about this passage, because in this situation here, in this topic specifically, we need to analyze really in depth. Then I invite all of us to try to focus on the reflection, and I'm going to try to guide you in how we could analyze these topics. And I would like to start with the item number 5, that is the passage of the gospel. And also you can find this in Mark and Matthew. And it starts saying the following. And arriving at the house, they found such a large crowd of people gathered there they could not even eat their meal. When his family learned of this, they came to take charge of him. And of course, him here is related to Jesus, because they said that he had lost his mind. So we need to build the context here. So this is the part of the passage, and the passage continues. Therefore, when his mother and brothers arrived, They remained outside and for him to be called. Now the people were seated around him, and someone said to him, "Your mother and brothers are outside calling for you." So now just picture the scenario. So then you have Jesus in a small house full of people there, listen to his words and teachings. And then the family arrived, as you saw before, demanding Jesus' attention. And then they asked for Jesus to be called. And they said, "Well, your family's here, mother and brothers." So then Jesus replied, "Who is my mother and who are my brothers?" And look at those who were seated around him. He said, "These are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does God's will is my brother, my sister, and my mother." As you see, it's not a big item, but it's full of complexity. And I would like us to take a moment to think about this. And when we analyze this passage, we always need to remember the context and the situation in that specific day and try to understand what is the deep meaning of the message. Some people may think that, for example, some of the words used by Jesus seem strange and appear to believe his goodness and untterrible benevolence toward everyone. So some people could think, wow, this passage here seems like Jesus did not respect his family in front of other people. And other analysis could be that, well, these believers never cease to use this as a weapon, state that he contradicted himself. So this passage is so complex by nature that you see, just in a more human way to analyze, we find different angles. But the question becomes, are those angles really the truth? If you think about all these thoughts that I introduce you here to reflect, that you can find in the Gospel according to Spiritism in the chapter 14, item 6, are our assumptions when we are reading the passage. And that's why I like to emphasize every time that you're reading the Gospel according to Spiritism or reading the Bible, we need to understand the context and the scenario to be able to have a clear understanding of the big picture. What really is the lesson behind? What's the superficial conclusion, the assumptions? And it always should be careful with assumptions. We should not assume things, particularly when we do not know or understand the context of the situation. So that's why I brought you the situation first. And what I would like to do with you today is reflect to see if this first conclusions that I introduce you, that I judge as more human analysis, is really just touch the surface, or is it really the conclusion that you should get from this passage? So what's really the meaning of this passage? If I think about Jesus, Jesus was a great teacher. And in the analysis here, and if you follow Jesus' life, all the moral teachings, and even the title of this chapter, honor your father and mother. And this is in the 10 Commandments, which is Moses' law that Jesus came to complete. It seems like it's strange that Jesus is against himself. And he never showed this in any passage of uh, in his presence on earth. He didn't show any signs of contradictory teachings. So maybe Jesus saw here a great opportunity to teach us a valuable lesson. And let's try to dig deeper in our reflection. So when we look at is the undeniable fact is that Jesus' teachings has its essential foundation in cornerstone in the love, and charity. If this is a fact, then we need to understand this. So, who is my mother and who are my brothers doesn't make sense the previous thoughts that we introduced. So, Jesus could not be disrespectful for their family because he always taught love and charity to others. So Jesus was always consistent on this teaching. He never thought revenge, never returned good evil with evil. So then we need to understand that Jesus' moral teachings are based on those cornerstones, which make us to understand if he has this profile that he always talk and taught about love and charity, it seems like the interpretation is too superficial if you think about Jesus being disrespected or Jesus contradicted himself or Jesus was weird and out of his mind, so it doesn't make sense if you we think rationally. Then he and if you continue that analysis, I'm trying to use Kardec's logic here. It's not mine. So remember, Kardec is doing the analysis here. He could not destroy one hand what he established on the other, which means I could not teach love and act in love all the time and charity to others, then I deny my family. It just doesn't make sense. And we must therefore draw the unbending conclusion that if some of his maxims are in contradiction with that basic principle, love and charity, it's because the words attributed to him have been either three factors here wrong conveyed, which means he delivered the message, but those are listening the message didn't get it. So wrongly understood, or were not his at all. And that's very important because we need to use our rational filter to judge if the action of someone, an example of someone, really match with the words. So, for example, if Jesus always taught love and charity, it's quite hard to understand why he's mistreating his family. So we need to analyze, are we understanding exactly? And that's why we need to bring the concept, the context, and even the personality. Because then we start to attribute correctly if we are not misunderstanding what's going on. A lot of people that time that could not understand the message probably wrongly conveyed or wrongly understood. And maybe, as we know, so sometimes, especially nowadays, because we have so many information out there, that we attribute things to other people that is not even their words. And then maybe sometimes people will attribute words to Jesus that he never said. And how we know that? Just look his example. And this distinction is quite important. And then we can use the same technique in our life. Let's say you have a great friend of yours, a very great person, a very lovable person, very approachable, uh, very supportive, very charitable, and then maybe he or she, they tell you something that you quite do not understand, and you think that person is mad at you. So this is assumption, and we already automatically go to this madness mode that we feel offended, and we start to build a lot of assumptions, and we didn't even ask what's the real intention. So that's why we need to avoid assumptions as well when we are reading the gospel, when you're reading the Bible, because those books you have to see with the spiritual eyes, not the human eyes. And that's one of the invitations here of this talk today. So let's try to see beyond what we human sight can see, to try to go beyond and see the spiritual side of the teaching. It's understandably a cause for wonder that in the circumstances, for example, when the family go there and ask for Jesus, he said that, and then it's like Jesus displays such indifference toward his family and in certain way denies his own mother. So this is quite a cause for wonder. So like, wow, how come Jesus could do that? And as we look this and try to dig in more and more closely, we need to dig deeper and deeper. Let's try to look closer to the context, to try to understand what is the real intention. So, what's the context? What the people involved in the context, that was the crowd, so the family and Jesus. And let's try to see the different angles in this context to try to see if this slide here really tells the story. So, when we look at Jesus' brothers, so, according to Kardec in the Gospel according to Spiritism, chapter 14, item 7, it's said that they never held him in much esteem. So let's picture this. So then you have your family members that it don't have you as a lot of esteem related to you. So the question is, Jesus was an extremely evolved spirit, is beyond our understanding. Nowadays, imagine more than 2,000 years ago. And the spirits around Jesus, we have maybe John Baptist, so Mary, so other spirits that is slightly more evolved, but the majority has little advanced, uh, little advanced spiritually speaking. And they did not understand his mission. So basically, that's the reality. And in their opinion, his behavior was bizarre, and his teachings did not touch them, since he did not have one disciple from amongst them. So interesting, there is no disciple that come from Nazareth, where Jesus was born, or no, was born, where it came from, right? So, and it's important to understand this concept. So, and doesn't mean that Jesus was trying to do any revenge on their brothers, but we need to understand the context for Jesus to show a little bit more in depth what this family should be like. So this is related to his brothers, and I think that's the slide here clear a little bit more how is this related, how the consequences of this situation, and continues. It seems that to a certain extent they might even have shared the prejudice of his enemies. The fact of the matter is that they welcomed him more as a stranger than as a brother whenever he met with his family. And John states specifically that they did not believe in him. So, and this is in John 7:5. So it's important here to have now the complete picture of this relationship between Jesus' brothers and Jesus. So now they have a family, brothers that do not understand his mission. They think that the way that Jesus acts is totally bizarre. So they don't welcome him. They treat him like a stranger. And then when Jesus is among those and teaching in that moment, they want to go there and interrupt the teachings just because they thought that's what Jesus should be doing. And that's a build of the scenario in that situation. So let's try to think about, okay, we have an idea about the scenario, the context to relate to brother, but let's talk about mother now, Mary. And it's important to understand the analysis of Mary is specific to this context, this day, and this scenario. And that's very important. Otherwise, we start make judgments about Mary that we should be quite careful to not uh, assume things that is not uh, related to this. In this scenario and the condition that Mary was that time in that day, no one could question Mary's tenderness towards Jesus. So this is totally clear. However, one must also agree that she too seemed not to have a very precise idea about Jesus' mission. And remember, this time, in this day. Of course, later on, Mary shows as life progress, she will shows a lot of understanding of Jesus' mission. One thing that's not clear to me by my limitation, if is Mary really understood completely Jesus' mission on earth, or she didn't have the completely picture. That's something that I cannot say because I do not know. So, as she was never known to follow his teachings or give testimony regarding him, as did John the Baptist, maternal solicitude was the sentiment that predominated in her. And this is understandable. That's totally understandable. So, Mary has these strong feelings for his son, and she is incarnated on earth, and even high spirits like Mary are on earth, then they're gonna have face feelings, earthly feelings. And this is a beautiful feeling that she had for Jesus. That's love, and it was pure love. And that's important to state. But in this condition here, maybe it wasn't clear to Mary what Jesus was trying to accomplish that day in that scenario. And maybe she didn't comprehend everything that he was doing that time. And I hope I make myself a little bit clear here, try to translate the Kardec and the Spirit's teachings relate to those scenarios. So, but now let's talk about Jesus then. So now we have understanding of, okay, how is the Jesus' relationship with the brothers? So with his mother and how the mothers feel about him, and maybe this a little mismatch about what's the Jesus mission and how much Mary comprehends the full scale of this mission. And then you have Jesus. And let's think rationally. As far as Jesus is concerned, to believe that he denied his mother would be to show ignorance of his character. Such an idea could not have animated the one who said, "Honor your father and your mother." Hence, it's necessary to look for another meaning of his words, which were nearly always shrouded in the veil of allegory. So Jesus used a lot of allegories and parables to teach us in more depth the concept. And what's the big teaching here? What's the big message? And why I have to bring all this concept? Because Jesus was introducing a new concept that people are not, even nowadays, very familiar with. That's the concept of corporeal kingship and a spirit kingship. And I'm going to try to explain a little bit more. Jesus never wasted an opportunity to give a lesson. And that scenario creates the perfect environment for Jesus to make us to think beyond the tradition. Therefore, as a good teacher, as a good as having an extremely excellent pedagogy, he took advantage of his family's arrival to establish a clear difference between corporeal kingship and spirit kingship. He is showing really clear there are bloody ties. That's my, for example, mine with my brothers, with my mom, with my parents. So our sisters, I don't have sisters, but if you do have, so there is this, material relationship. So there is our biology. So that's one. But Jesus is showing there is a spiritual family that goes beyond blood ties. And then you say, well, Rodrigo, wait a minute, I'm a little bit confused here. So are you saying that I have two different families? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Jesus is introducing here the concept of a universal family, that we are all brothers and sisters, but he's questioning in that scenario who is my mother and who are my brothers, because he's gonna show my family here, I have bloody ties with them. So in the case of Jesus, it's a little bit more complex than that. But let's say that he showed this is my family, my brother and my mother. However, all the crowd here that is with me and is supporting me and listen to me and have affinity with me and my teachings are part of my family as well. So, and think about that. Jesus brought this concept when that time we most believe in only traditions. And he said, no, 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 that's not only that. So that's not only my family, my mother, my brothers. And he even taught who is my mother and who are my brothers and sisters is everyone that follow God's law. And what's the law we're talking about? Love and charity. That's Jesus' teachings. And then to try to exemplify this in more our reality, think about how many of us had people in our lives that isn't not blooded related to us, but seems part of our family. Those that we feel this strong affinity, that we sometimes say, you know what, it seems like I know you forever. So if you're watching this video now, please raise your hand. I'm not going to see any hands raised, but your hand if you have that experience. How can we explain that experience? That someone that's not related to you in genetically speaking, biologically speaking, and you feel that there's love for this person. What can explain that connection? And that's what Jesus was trying to bring that time for people to understand. Family is not only this, family is everyone here in this room, including my family. And Jesus starts that time to introduce a new concept for that community. That's the universal family. And that's was a big teaching if you think about. Because now, just imagine if we see each other as our mothers, our brothers, our sisters, how would we treat each other? And the true meaning of mother, brothers, sisters, just imagine if we treat everyone like we first like to be treated, and we tend to treat people that we love. So Jesus really challenged us to think beyond. And I would like to finalize my talk, bring this reflection to you. Who is our mother? And who are our brothers and sisters? Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm open for questions that you may have. Your microphone, Publio.
This subject is very important. Like I'm thinking about, like, 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ brought this law of love, and humanity was ignoring these. Like, they really know the laws of physician. So there's comments here. I made one comment. I want you to explore this, but it's very important now. Like, we with what's happening in the world nowadays, especially, let's say, what happened, the earthquake in Turkey. So when we think, oh, okay, there are problems, no, it's not their problem. They are our brothers and sisters, right? So it's we have to have this in mind. Everybody is parents. Everybody is coming from the same place, the gods. So it's very important. That's the reason. There's two questions here related to this. The first one is Rod. It's our friend Rod Gomez. He asked you, where is it? Here. Following Jesus' teaching, what is the spiritual family? You mentioned something, but I want you to say something else. What is a spiritual family? Is there a family waiting for us in the spiritual world or the spiritual realm?
Thank you for the question, Rod. So, what a spiritual family is all of us. So, we are a spiritual family. So, that's what Jesus is trying to bring to us is this understanding of universal family. And as Publio mentioned, it doesn't matter. So, for example, the Russian-Ukrainian war is their problem. No, it's our problem. So, in hunger is not only developed countries' problem; it's our problem because it's our family, and we need to take care of each other. So that's one point, and of course, this is needed centuries and centuries, reincarnation over reincarnation, for we to purify the love. The family is the school of the soul, is where we start. So then we start learning how to love our parents, and then love our brothers and sisters, and then we expand to our friends, and then we expand. And that's, to me, the reason why God give us a family as this gift of a learning. That's why we should never complain about the family that we have, because all the family that are with us is a way to teaching us something. They have a function for our spiritual evolution. So, is there a family waiting for us in the spiritual realm? Well, for example, in my case, my dad passed away in 2008. I'm completely 100% sure that he's waiting for us over there. And I think, that, of course, there if, and then I have a lot of spiritual friends around us that are in the other side. So our spiritual mentors, they are part of our family. So that's our spiritual family. So the blood ties, the family that comes with us, as we know, has a function. So that maybe we have some debts with them that we have to readjust, or maybe some cases uh, come in a mission to help others. So it's very complex, but it's possible. Yeah, they
Yes.
they are waiting for us over there for sure.
Because the next comment here, I did it, and it's very, very close to this that you said. And that's it. Let me show you. It's like the law of love and charity is more powerful than the physician laws, the bloodline or blood ties. Please explain this, because like when we think about the world, so the people that is in uh, hungry in Africa or Philippines, whatever, there's place that people suffer. So they are related to us in spirit. So looks like, and I'm 100% sure that was the biggest message in this passage from Jesus, that everybody is our parent, is my mother, is my sister. And you mentioned something very important. Sometimes we have friends that we get along very, very well, actually more than our blood ties. So can you work in this area, please?
Yeah, it's correct. So over time, love for in charity will be more powerful than our physical ties. So our genetic biology. So the biology and genetic in this family relationship relate to blood are necessary for us to start learning love in a more pure sense. So, and as we progress, and you're right, as you said, Jesus came with this message to show that love is not restrict. We should love everybody as ourselves. So that's the biggest message behind the entire structure. And Jesus was so smart with his family to say, I love them, but not are only them. And as you, all you that suffer, that are afflicted, are in need, I will take care of you. And if we do that, as you said, and we start to feel that love, an example, Mother Teresa, she felt love for those kids abandoned, and she took an action that's charity, that's loving action. So, and now the understanding of love is beyond. That's our inner circle. So as we evolve, this inner circle will start to be bigger and bigger until one day, I hope, we reach a level that it bothers you with so much that we're gonna do something. Because we could stop war, we could stop hunger, we could, if everyone in on earth do your duties and follow Jesus' teachings, we could stop that, because you don't want to see your mother die for hunger, do we? We don't want to see our brother and our sister dying for lack of access to water or food or disease. So when we expand that, so we're not going to accept that, and we're going to move to society towards a better place to be, where we don't have to discuss what we're discussing today. So that people are dying for hunger, that we have religious intolerance, that we have any type of intolerance, because we understand each other as brothers and sisters, and then the love moves beyond the superficial level.
Thank you, Rodrigo. You brought me a very good feeling to understanding a little bit more about the gospel according to Spiritism that Jesus brought to us. We'd like to say thank you very, very much for your words that really make a difference for us to start thinking, because we're not going to change start today and tomorrow is a different person, but we start thinking differently. And like you said, one day we're gonna love everybody. In like when we see somebody in suffering, it's gonna hurt us, right? Even though it's in another country, a different language, whatever, because they are brothers and sisters. Thank you very, very much, my friend.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. Have a nice night.
Thank you very, very much. This this was a very good explanation, and now we're gonna start our spiritual treatment. You're gonna ask me, Publio, what is this spiritual treatment? Please let me know what it is. So, spiritual treatment is is a pass, is a transfusion of spiritual energy, assisting our physical, emotional, and mental balance. And also, to the best benefit from the spiritual treatment, please follow the guide audio instruction or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes if you want to help the mentalization. And now is the time to you for you to put your water that we ask a special container, that because the water will receive the healing energy for our body and soul, which your family and you can be benefit from. So now we're gonna do spiritual preparation for the spiritual treatment, a prayer, and also gonna be our last prayer. So I'd like to invite you to close your eyes if you want to. And this moment, let's think about Jesus Christ's teachings and say, thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to learn a little bit more about your gospel, your teachings. Thank you to open our hearts to understanding the law of love and charity. Thank you for teaching us that love is action. It's not only a feeling, but it's an action that helps all those that we love. We'd like to say thank you for the week that we have, the opportunity to be here incarnated, participating in this special meeting. We'd like to say thank you and ask for the permission the good spirits be with us, helping us with that magnetized water, the spiritual treatment. Bless us today and forever.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The path begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil. Washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the pass. Thank you, God.
So I'd like to say thank you to everybody. And remember, you can follow us through our Facebook page, Spiritism Canada, and also YouTube. And also you can follow the group from London and the Spiritism Canada and the I forgot the name, the Past Life of London group Spiritist. So thank you everybody, and I hope you can see you next week at the same time. Have a wonderful night, wonderful week. Thank you and have a good night.
Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, mate, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try. Build a bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark hope. No more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Let the sun on the way shine, shine. Let the sun on the way shine, shine. Shine.